Welcome to the Casual Hour, a podcast ostensibly about video games, but mostly about Chase keeping secrets and that new Nintendo indie world. I'm Bobby Pease, the host of this shit show.
I was not keeping secrets about Nintendo Indie World.
Chase was not keeping secrets about Nintendo, but secrets.
He's got a secret.
That's Chase Kinnicky, the gamer on the go, good friend of mine. That's Johnny Amazich, the gamer that should go.
Hello.
Maybe a friend of mine.
You should really work on some new material. You've been using that joke for...
Hey, I'll start using new material when you start beating games and playing other games. How about that?
I play lots of other games. I don't beat a lot of games, though. So
yes,
it's only half of that request.
We've got a jam-packed show tonight. A big show. Nintendo had its Indie World. We're going to cover that tonight in the news at the Casual Report. There's a lot of games that we've been playing. We haven't had a chance to really break those down for some time.
I wasn't even here last week.
Chase wasn't even here last week. He said, you know what? I heard that Johnny's going to be back. I'm tired of him. I'm getting the fuck out of here. He was LARPing and taking his aggression out with a big wooden hammer. And
you nailed it.
Yeah. No, it's good to see you both. Patrick, we hope you're doing well, enjoying your night off, taking care of yourself. You were streaming a little bit earlier today. Go and check out Patrick, if you can, on our Twitch channel. But no, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good to see you two after a pretty damn big day. Like, a lot bigger than I expected it to be. And I don't want to spill the beans too much.
You know, I almost debated, like, I'll just look at a recap of this later. But I'm glad that I watched it in the moment. And it timed perfectly with when I took my break today. So I was able to sit down and fully give it my attention. And I think that this was a damn good direct. So,
speaking of spilling the beans, I had a bit of an accident today.
Oh, you spilled some beans?
Not exactly, but I did. So I'm trying to be more camera ready, trying to lose some weight, trying to get healthier, and decided I was going to do this plan with my wife. So I'm cooking my first meal at work today, and it's penne pasta. Okay, follow the instructions: microwave safe dish, throw your shit in, stir it up, microwave it. I put it in there for the 2 minutes before I have to stir it and start this again. I go and I get my water bottle filled up. I come back. Have either one of you seen the movie The Shining?
We watch it every year.
Okay, you know the part in The Shining when he's having the dream sequence and the elevators open up and all the blood falls. I go to open the microwave today.
Oh no!
To get my penne pasta, or penne, whatever it is, and I open it up, and literally all the water that was in my bowl had just boiled over, and it's just pouring out of the microwave, and it's hot, and it's like it's melting the plastic spoon I'm trying to use for this.
You were 6 penne, none the richer.
All right, I might be done with the podcast. I thought with Patrick being here last week and I would just skip out that I'd be okay, but I think I need to take a more permanent hiatus.
I was sitting on that the whole time. That's from the moment Bobby said the word penne.
I'm going to give this one away for free. This is not even something that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
No, what? No,
thank you.
What?
Thank you.
Anyway,
dude,
I had to play my mess.
Shit. I'm guessing you needed to adjust the power level on the microwave.
No, I think that because it says use a deep bowl, and my bowl was pretty deep, but not deep enough, and my penne runneth over in the microwave, and I had this soppy mess. It's just gross. I was so upset. I think I have a blister on my finger from it.
How many roads must a man walk down?
And you know what? All this was for me to not.
Must his bowl?
I'll tell you what. Some of the worst fucking food I put in my body has never crossed me that way. Ever. Ever. So anyway, what I'm saying is...
So diet's going well.
Diet's off to a real bad start.
What did you do for lunch? Did you just not eat, or did you grab something
real
else?
Dry noodles with rehydrated beef, and it was fucking bad. But
you work at a mall though. There's food all around you. I can't
eat at the Cinnabon and boba tea, or is it boba or boba? What kind of tea is that?
It's like the fet.
Boba.
Boba Tea. Yeah, Boba.
Bubba
Fett
Tea is
tea.
something
all the
else
time.
entirely.
Boba Fetty is not for me, and I'm not going to choke on those tapioca balls because I just would inhale all of
Tapioca
it.
is very good for you.
Not if you're choking on it. But yeah, I'm doing good. I feel fine outside of my blistered fingers and my dry penne. I'm doing all right. But we're not here to talk about my shitty diet. We're here to talk about the games that we've been playing, and we're going to cover some news. So we've got a lot of stuff to get through.
This should technically be a deep dive, but
Should be.
nobody was prepared for that. So
You know what, though? Maybe it worked out in our favor because of the Nintendo thing.
I think,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes. So stroke of genius, really.
Stroke of genius on Chase's part. We'll give him the
It
credit.
intervenes.
Johnny's procrastination once again has
And, somehow working out for me since grade school. So,
well, let's kick it off
Why
here.
stop
We're
now?
gonna break down the games that we're playing and hop over into the news a little bit later on. Chase,
Yes.
I see some things here.
I got some things. I will say maybe let's table any of the Indie World stuff that we played until we get to the Indie World section.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great.
Help things a little bit.
Should we tease? Like, I guess not really tease. We're gonna talk over the video, jump around a little bit of the video. So we'll be commentating a bit, talking about some of the games that maybe we have checked out or going to check out from it. So we'll get to the games we're playing, and about midway through the show, you'll see us flip over to that, and we'll have that. So stick around, hang
and
out.
they dropped a bunch of stuff. There were
lot of shit came
7
out
new
today.
games that came to eShop.
A lot of new shit. And
Lots
we
of-
love
lots
that
of
Nintendo
stuff.
Switch around these parts, and I know Chase is giddy. So
Well,
let's get into it.
Two of us.
I hate it. They love it.
Yeah.
Only one of us has the new one pre-ordered. So I mean, who's that?
Can
Can
I
you
love
guess who
mine
that
so
is?
much.
I don't know why you're doing that. All right, let's
I
get
hate
into it here.
myself.
Did I talk
Why does
about
he do
Final
any
Fantasy
of the things that he
VII
does?
Integrate Intermission?
Yes, I think we've all covered it except for Johnny, who has not picked it up yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I have.
But
I'm in the middle of playing it.
okay.
Okay.
Did I talk about finishing it?
No.
Okay. I finished. I was actually really close.
It was short.
It's only supposed to be.
Maybe you did. Maybe
maybe
you did
4
talk
hours.
about it. I can't remember. We've done a lot of
Yeah,
dumb things.
I know I've talked to you guys about it. I just don't know if I've talked about it. on
You
the show.
told me
Anyway,
earlier in the week that you
I haven't
it.
finished it. I know I'm close to that. Johnny's not even picked it up yet. That's where we're at with this.
About an hour.
I think it's good. Yuffie is a lot of fun to play.
Yes.
I
Yes.
didn't realize that the other guy was not playable. Well, not strictly playable. You can kind of offer commands to him at specific points, but you are controlling Yuffie the entire time,
Okay.
which is okay. It definitely jumps around the story a lot. It makes a very large leap, especially at the end, where it's just like, oh yeah, hey, we're just gonna go basically to where Cloud was. It's fine. And yeah, I found it really, really enjoyable. It doesn't make a lick of sense if you are coming at it with like a, hey, I remember what Final Fantasy VII was like.
Well, Chase.
We don't care. We
This
don't
is
care.
a remake.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all complete side stuff,
Yeah.
but it is interesting to kind of theory craft like, oh, that's what Yuffie was doing while I was over here doing this other stuff.
That explains why she's in this forest for some reason. Whenever you meet her in the real game.
It doesn't really do that. But
No, it doesn't at all. Did either of you try and go into Seventh Heaven? Or not Seventh Heaven. Is it Seventh Heaven? The name of the bar. Did either of you try and go in there?
No.
When you're in...
I just talked to Tifa outside.
So you can talk to Tifa, but if you walk up to the door and try and go in, it put a gust of wind pushes you away.
Mm.
And Yuffie's like, oh, that was weird.
That happened a few different times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely could hear Cloud in his apartment at some points.
Yep.
When you walk around there.
Yeah, I went over there too.
So it was
it's neat. I like it.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun to see those characters and go like, oh, hi, Jesse. Oh, right, you died.
Yeah. Damn it.
Now I'm sad about Jesse.
Yeah. Anyway, so I beat that. I had a good time with it. It really, for me, I think it was like 3.5 hours. So it is kind of right in there.
A sweet spot.
It's not long at all, but it is quite enjoyable, I think. I also played a lot more Pokemon Unite, which is a game that we've done a quick look of now.
Yep.
And Johnny, I think you mentioned this on the show a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have now played 40 plus matches of that.
Oh, damn. Are you
Yeah.
playing ranked or casual?
Some of both. Some of the quick matches too. The quick matches, so it kind of just has one map if you play the normal modes, but then there's this quick mode that has different maps and different configurations of players. There's like a 3-on-3 or a 4-on-4 instead of the normal 5-on-5,
Mm-hmm.
and the maps are way different and kind of interesting. There's one that has like just a ton of conveyor belts on it, so you can
Interesting.
speed to different parts of the map and take care of things. There are some that only have one goal per side. It's kind of neat, and then those have different objectives that are not for the game. Like the game itself is still a MOBA. You're still dunking the energy and all that kind of stuff. But there are missions that you can do, extra challenges that you can do that unlock. Hey, here's a new shirt, or here's some more materials, or some bullshit when you get out of that. But it is specific to those quick matches. So it's, hey, Abra pops up in this map. Defeat 10 Abra. And the Abras also have like a teleport ability, so you have to kill them fast before they get out of there. Or the one that's available today is like a snowy map, and it's got electrodes at the top and bottom. And once you start attacking them, they start ticking down. And if you don't defeat them before they tick all the way down, they explode and they do a bunch of damage to you and
So
everything.
it goes some places. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, there's some kind of neat options if you don't just want to play the regular 5-on-5 all the time, and I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of ranked. I've been enjoying just jumping in, doing my daily challenges, getting a couple of things, getting a little bit of the currency to be able to purchase more of those licenses. I did buy one new Pokemon. I still haven't spent any real money on this game, but I did have enough currency to purchase one new Pokemon license, and I picked Gengar. Gengar
Then they
rules.
nerfed Gengar.
They did, because he's good, and I think he's still fun to play.
They've already
But,
got him on there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Gengar
that's
is
cool.
a beast.
Yeah, Gengar's pretty good. And then I still love my Snorlax. Snorlax is, I think,
I haven't played
maybe
with
the most
Snorlax
fun to
yet.
play. It's so much fun. He makes being a defensive class not feel bad. Like playing as him a lot.
Man.
But yeah, I'm gonna keep on going. I'm kind of between getting Pikachu or getting Lucario next, because I've seen and heard that both of those are pretty fun to play. But yeah, I could actually see myself spending some money in this. It's
You were saying that you have a really good time.
I already did.
The other day that we were chatting.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was gonna just kind of give this a shot because it was free, and because Johnny and I said that we'd play a Pokemon MOBA if they ever made one.
We did.
And I'm finding myself going, you know what? I've got 10 free minutes. Let's go do a match.
Pretty good,
Do that.
right?
They're just, the matches are so easy to jump in and jump out of that, like, yeah, I can find a little time to play a game here or there, and I'm just having a pretty solid time with it.
Just wait till it comes to your phone, Chase.
I don't think that's gonna be for me.
We're back up and running. I don't know what just happened. Had a stream failure. But we're back. Chase, you were giving me a riveting discussion around Pokemon
We were
Unite.
talking about Pokemon Unite.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think we were just about done wrapping up with that one. I like it. I'm going to spend some more time with it. I'll probably end up spending a little bit of money on it too.
Fair.
But in the meantime, the other game that I've been playing, I think it's one that you guys have been playing as well, and that is Dodgeball Academia.
Yeah.
Game that we showed on our August preview, and I was pretty interested in it. And now that it's out, I can say, yeah, I'm still pretty interested in it.
Yeah, I've not probably put. I've got maybe 30 minutes into that game, Chase, so I don't have a ton into it. But
about an hour.
It does look very promising from what I'm seeing there. Like more so than what I probably would have thought looking at like a key art frame or something for that game. Like I think in movement it looks really good for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. It actually reminds me a lot of like those kind of Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance Mario sports games,
Yeah.
where it sets you in a school,
Yep.
and that school is built around playing the sport, in this case dodgeball,
All dodgeball
and it
with
is
a
an RPG.
magical artifact
Yes, with a magical spinning dodgeball that never stops spinning.
and gives the school
Um,
energy. It's
but you're like a new recruit to the school, and you are trying to get in and play in these tournaments and become the best dodgeballer ever. And it's an RPG, and it's an RPG where it seems like you're kind of building up your team so far. And I'm also still early. I think I've played probably more than both of you combined, but still not super far. Um, it locks you to who's on your team right now, and one of those people is completely dead weight that you don't
Yep.
can't even play with. But I think this is eventually going to get to a point where I get to pick players and have them on my team,
That's
and
cool.
I would really look forward to something like that where I can start swapping people and doing interesting things. But the dodgeball mechanics are pretty solid. I've gotten to a point where I can charge my throws, and everybody's kind of got a different power that they can charge. So
yeah,
my
like a
main
different special
character, he can
attack. It's
charge and throw, and it does burn damage, so it'll keep ticking off. And the opponents, everybody has HP because this is an RPG. So every dodgeball hit takes off a certain amount of HP, but he can do a little bit more with his burn. And then there's a girl that you get on your team, and when she charges it up, she can do like an electric shocky kind of attack. And those are both pretty cool. The opponents all throw their dodgeballs in slightly different ways. It's it's got a lot to it, and I think the writing is pretty close to being there. It's a
yep.
little silly sometimes, but it's for the most part, I think really really
It's
fun.
fun. It's a lot of
It
fun.
yeah,
Um.
it's been a good time. I also like the equipment that's in there.
Mhm.
You can find all these different pieces of equipment. I found these skull earrings that
Very
have
Did
cool.
kind of
too.
a
Yeah.
vampirism ability to them that are very good. It's it's got a lot of cool things going for it, and I'm looking forward to playing more.
Yeah. Okay. Question for you.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen Shin Chan?
Crayon Shin-Chan. I've not watched Crayon Shin-Chan, but I'm aware of it.
Okay. Do the like just the standard NPC characters, do you
Yeah,
get
I can see it.
Shin Chan vibes from them?
Yeah, like maybe like
Okay.
Shin-Chan mixed with Steven Universe.
A little bit.
Yeah.
That's like immediately where my mind went when I saw those.
Mhm.
It's like, holy shit. 'Cause
I think it's got a fun cast. There
Yeah.
are people that I would like to recruit to my team because I just think they look cool. Like I like the kind of bullyish guy who's got a pompadour, not the purple dude who's just an absolute dick, but the guy who thinks he's a little too cool for you.
Mhm.
I like his look.
His
There's some other
vibe.
fun ones too.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's been really good though.
I think that if they can make this game an RPG dodgeball game, there's no reason they can't deliver an RPG baseball game.
That's still my dream. I mean, we're getting Sports Story eventually, right?
Yeah.
And that will
At
have
some
some
point.
baseball elements in it, but
I
that seems like that is mixing the sports in a way that is not quite what I'm looking for, but still kind of cool.
we can chat offline about it because this is going to be our little baby, but I did kind of workshop out what I thought some combat could look like in a RPG baseball game for you.
Yeah,
And I think it's pretty cool.
I think Bobby probably just made Base Wars
hmm,
in his head.
Now I'm trying to think of baseball as like a strategy game, like a turn-based strategy game.
don't think too hard. It's already been
I think
solved.
you could make that work. I think
But
you could
anyway,
make a really cool baseball
But yeah,
strategy game.
other than that, I've got one more thing. It's not a game, but it's one more thing that I'd like to talk about. And it's something that's pretty fresh because I just finished it before starting the podcast.
okay.
I watched the Monster Hunter movie.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, that is
With
a baffling piece of cinema.
yeah.
I don't. Neither of you guys have seen it, correct?
No,
Mhm.
Okay.
because we love Monster Hunter.
I
So why
I
would we do
don't.
that to ourselves?
The weird thing is that at some points it's extremely authentic. and you look at it and go, wow, this was lovingly crafted. Like somebody back there cares about. Wow, the Diablos looks like a fucking Diablos, and it looks great, and it sounds great, and it does the Diablos things, and that's cool. There's a Rathalos in it. Rathalos looks and feels like a Rathalos. It's not like they just made some generic dragon and said, "Yep, that's a Rathalos." No, it looks like a fucking Rathalos. I just don't know why you made the decisions you made in this game, Paul W.S. Anderson. Why do we need to have the modern shit in there? Why is like a modern military group isekai'd away into the Monster Hunter world? What does that gain us? I know what it gains us. It gives them a cipher for the audience where Mila Jovovich can ask questions like, "What the fuck is that?" And then somebody can say Rathalos, and then it's not just like that is the stand-in for the audience. The audience doesn't know anything about Monster Hunter because of course they don't. You got to have somebody in there for that, but it's just baffling. Well, actually the most baffling thing to me is this is a 1 hour and 45-minute movie. For the first hour and change, it is all in the desert. And then in one desert, and then in the Monster Hunter desert, but basically just in the same desert, fighting this Diablos. It is a straight hour. I mean, there's also some spider shit too, but it's all basically, hey, we're trapped in this fucking desert, and we need to stop this Diablos, and we have to use these other things to do it. But it's do what?
Yeah.
Did they use any screamer pods?
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly. They have to take down the spiders that they don't call Nershala. Actually, I think they do call them Nershalas, the spider monster, because they want to like take the venom out of it and use it to poison / put the Diablos to sleep, which they don't even really do. They shoot it, and then it kind of stumbles a little bit, and then it just keeps fighting them. So I don't know why they even did that in the first place, because it doesn't really seem to have gotten them anywhere. But over half of the movie is just Mila Jovovich and Monster Hunter dude who she runs into working together and figuring out how to stop this Diablo. So I'm like, okay, well, you did the first thing, and then I ran over my computer and went like, oh, holy shit, that was over half the movie. What is the rest of this? Like, she still has to try to get home. Where are we going? Aren't there supposed to be other monsters in this movie? And then it's like, boom, 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 boom. Here's a monster. Here's a monster. Here's a Palico that's kind of like Meowscular Chef, but it's not really the Meowscular Chef, but he's kind of there. And they call it a Palico, and that's weird. And then, like, here's some other monsters. And by the way, there's a Rathalos, and we have to fight the Rathalos. Why? Fuck you. That's why. Fight this Rathalos. We're going to kill this Rathalos. And then, no, we don't kill the Rathalos. And she gets sent back to her world. And then she's like, okay, I guess I'm back here.
By the way. Spoilers.
Fuck the spoilers. Fuck that. Nobody should watch this movie.
Well,
I'm
glad that you took one for the team.
What compelled you to do this?
Because I wanted to watch a movie, and it was like 8:30, and I needed to watch something shorter than 2 hours. I was going to watch Speed Racer, which I'm much more excited about. Speed Racer is a good movie. Wait, Bobby, have you seen Speed Racer?
Mm-hmm.
You know that's based on an anime, right? Bobby.
Oh man, I used to love
Bobby didn't know that he was watching an anime.
If I have to start answering questions on stream,
go Speed Racer, go.
That movie's like 2 hours and 12 minutes, and I was like, I didn't have time for that and be able to do this podcast at the same time. So Monster Hunter, you're up, baby.
Yeah.
And yikes. It's baffling. Also, the Rathalos comes. No. We gotta do one more spoiler. The Rathalos comes into our world at the end, and it's like, no, you ain't done with me, bitch. And then it fucks up a bunch of military shit. But they don't.
I hate this.
It is in the trailer, but it's not in the movie. Like, it's not. You're not ready for it in the movie because at the movie you're like, well, hang on, I guess we're done. Like, they did the thing where she got home. And I guess that's a weird way to end it. And then the Rathalos is like, I'm here! And then other people show up and they all fight the Rathalos together and they eventually kill it. And it's just weird. And then you're like, okay, well, They killed the Rathalos. I guess now she can be safe at home. And those other people can go back to their own world. And then it goes, nope, she's back in the Monster Hunter world, and now we're fighting a different monster that doesn't look like any monster that I'm aware of. Like, it might be.
I guess I don't need to watch this now, huh?
You don't. You really don't. You didn't need to watch it before, and you certainly don't need to watch it now. But they end the movie fighting whatever this Nergigante-looking kind of thing is. It's not a Nergigante, though. It's something else. It's not a thing I've ever seen. But then they just cut the credits. And I'm like, why?
Wait.
Why are you doing any of this?
In the middle of a fight?
Yeah. No. In the middle of the fight. They send her back to her world for no reason. They send the Monster Hunter people to her world to stop the monster that also comes in. And then they send them all back to the Monster Hunter world again to fight another monster, and then cut it off at the end and say, fuck it, we'll just go to credits and maybe we'll fight this monster next time. There's not going to be fucking next time. And then there's a mid-credit scene where it's like, boom, the Palico muscular chef has a sword and it shoots electricity.
We've got to move on. Fuck it,
let's go back to the credits.
We've got an entire indie world to cover, Chase. We cannot talk about this anymore.
I don't know why they made this movie. I don't know why. I don't know why they made it this way. Why would you do this?
It's a bad look. It's a bad look.
I don't even care about Monster Hunter.
You love Monster Hunter.
Out of Monster Hunter stories, but
it's all connected.
I didn't need this movie to be good. It just wasn't. It's not that it wasn't good. It's that it's baffling. Why did they make a movie like this?
A bigger question for another time, I suppose.
I guess so. We've already had this discussion. We did our movie episode. I missed it. I wasn't in time for that, but I needed to let you guys know.
I appreciate it. Look, I can't believe you did something like that
bad.
without us. Outside of that, is that it? Is that all you've been up to?
I guess so.
Okay.
I guess so.
Okay.
I mean, I've been playing something else, but it's an indie world thing. So.
Okay.
Although Johnny has not put this in the news, so I probably should mention it. Idris Elba's Knuckles.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That might be the highlight there. Johnny had, all the time in the world for this note, too.
He did. He really did.
I figured we'd just talk about it.
Well,
and we did.
We did.
Johnny, what have you been playing?
Oh, we're not doing that. No, that's not happening. Johnny, take a fucking seat. Wait your turn.
What?
I'm up. I've been playing The Ascent. That game, we recorded a quick look. We have not published that quick look for that game. More to come on that. That was an early recording, and they've since done some patches for the Xbox, Windows 10 Game Pass version on PC, which was a little rough when it launched.
And
it's better. They've fixed some of
the. Can you play with your friends?
I have played with some friends, and
without corrupting your game.
No corruption so far on that, but the Ascent continues to be an interesting game that I'm having a lot better time with than I expected, and I'll update more on that as I play through it. Death's Door is still something I've been chugging through. I think I'm at like maybe the last or second to last boss of that game now, and I'm very much enjoying that game. And I think there'll be further discussions in the year where I get to talk about that a bit more. But we've got a quick look up for that on our YouTube channel, and we have talked about that at length here on the show. So lots that you can go and find out about our take on that game, and I will continue to talk about it later on in the year. But I did end up downloading a game that we talked about on one of our monthly previews. I think it was last month where we talked about this coming out. And at the time, I just had other shit. I was pretty much, which I still am playing, Monster Hunter Stories 2, and that's kind of consumed a lot of what I was doing. So I put this game on the back burner. But I kept seeing stuff pop up for Tribes of Midgard. And I thought to myself, I got to check this out. And...
Why? Why did you think that to yourself?
Is this just Valheim?
No.
Light?
No, I think that, and I've read a few reviews on this too, for better or worse, the game did not represent itself for what it truly is in a lot of its preview stuff. Because it does. Like, it definitely riffed off of Valheim. Like, hey, we are a Viking based game. You are working your way towards the afterlife or through the afterlife. You are crafting and building and doing things, which that's here. But this is 100% a loop based. I mean, I don't want to call it quite a run. Like, there's a loop to this game where you are going out in the morning, grabbing your resources to come back to your town, which you're building up. It's a tower defense game. It's literally like a tower defense game. So
What?
I don't know if tower defense, it's a horde based game. And so you're going out and you're collecting this stuff. You can have a crew of people with you. You can build shit like houses and farms. There is a crafting mechanic to it. You can get resources to upgrade to the colored tier of weapons and armor. Like, that's all there. There's different weapon types. You can equip 2 types of weapons at once. So like I've been running with a sword and board and a hammer, and there's some really cool shit that happens with that. It is the way that the combat works. It's not quite twin stick shooter, but I'm playing this with mouse and keyboard. And so your character is moving 360 degrees where the mouse cursor is at, and that's where they will attack. There is a roll mechanic. There are some consumables that you can use on this, but you are going out. There's in your town, there's quests too. Like, hey, go get the stuff to make like a medicine or whatever. You can do that. But at night, your town gets attacked, and there's a countdown that goes on. Hey, like these creatures are moving in, and there's multiple doors into your town. You can upgrade those doors and build walls or like barricades that keep them from coming in certain areas. But the entire time this is going on, there's a countdown, and a Jotun, Jotun's coming in, and it's like, hey, it's on its way, and then there's a big battle where these bosses, and there's different ones throughout the game, make their way to your town, and you have to defend your town against them. And so there's things that I haven't gotten to the point where I'm assuming that you can build more traps. So I do have some traps, but are there other elements that you can do to your town to really bolster against these? So this is a co-op game, and I think when you first looked at it, it's like, okay, this is like cell shaded isometric Valheim, but then it's really it's kind of, I guess to a degree it is
survival.
Yeah,
crafting,
but you're not checking any like hunger systems or anything like that. You are keeping your town's health up. You're keeping your health up. So those are 2 things you can do. And then when you go out, you'll come across like camps, and there's other like beasts and creatures that will try and kill you while you're out running around. But you can come across these camps, go and kill people, take their chests, and get raw materials that you can come back to your town, because your town is set up with like shops. And so you have, your armor, your blacksmith, all that stuff, and you're turning these things in and crafting better gear. But it is like a horde kind of tower defense game, and I think it's really fucking cool. Like, I was pretty high on it.
You saying tower defense has me way more interested in this than I was.
It's co-op. I mean, so it's on PlayStation 5. It might be on PlayStation 4 too. It's on PlayStation. It's on PC. I don't know if it has cross-play between the 2 of them. Graphically, it does some cool stuff with reflections in water. Like, like, the style is weird, I think, when you first approach it. Like, I know, Chase, you haven't been too keen on how it looks.
I don't like the art style.
But I think a game that you can fire up and play with a friend, and like, hey, I'm going to go out and grab this stuff. We're going to come back, and we're going to build up our town and deal with these hordes that come at night. And then this big fucking giant, like this really big giant, and you got to take it out. Like, that's pretty fucking cool. And I think that you can have 10 to 12 people, maybe more, maybe less, playing this together. There is a multiplayer save. There is a single player save, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what carries over. So like I died the first, like when I was learning the systems and shit, and like the big giant came in. I was away from my town. It fucked it up. But the game, it was just like game over, start from scratch again when that happened. And it tells you at the end, like, okay, you survived this many nights, you did this. So I don't know if there's elements from like a roguelike where it would carry over, or Rogue Legacy really at that point in time. But it's a lot cooler than I thought it would be. And Johnny, I think for sure you would enjoy what it's doing. I know that you bounced off some of the things with Valheim, but this seems to be doing some different stuff while being both a Viking and a resource game like Valheim. So yeah, that's Tribes of Midgard. It's pretty fucking cool. I'd like to do a quick look at that and show it off with you two, to see a little bit about what's going on there.
So you keep talking up the co-op stuff. Have you actually played this game with anyone else?
No, because I don't want to. This happened with the
Is that
Ascent.
somebody else?
I don't mind playing the game with other people. I think that would actually make this game quite a bit more enjoyable. But I don't want to hop into something where I feel like I have to rush around learning what's going on and getting my footing first. And so I wanted to hop into it, understand like how do you get a pickaxe? How do you get a hatchet or an axe or whatever? And what does that look like when you're turning things in back at town? And I didn't want to hop into something where I felt like I had to just keep up with a crew while still being carried. Like I wanted to understand a bit more like, okay, like I'm going to go do this and I can kind of stay to my lane a bit and help do that. I didn't get into it, but like right outside of your town when it spawns, like there's you'll come across buildings that say like, hey, hold down G to rebuild. And so you're collecting spirits the entire time in the game and that's your currency or one of. And so you can deposit spirits into these buildings and then basically rebuild them. And so there's a farm that goes right outside of it. And I think that you can get some automation going in this game where you might have somebody in that group who's just doing those mundane tasks. Like maybe you are going and gathering, maybe you are running the farm. Other people might be going out and raiding. So there's some cool stuff with it. I haven't experienced it firsthand, but I've watched a few YouTube videos of what that looks like, and pretty neat stuff there. And that's Tribes of Midgard.
Sounds pretty cool.
There's another game I've been playing that we'll talk about here in a bit, but that's it for me.
Cool.
Johnny, what about you?
Well, I talked about Dodgeball Academia along with you and Chase. I have another game I've been playing today that we'll talk about next. Outside of that, I've been playing 2 games.
Okay.
TemTem.
Ooh.
I don't. Stop me if you heard this before. This is a game where you are a young person and you set out on a grand adventure to collect monsters that you find walking around in tall grass. Does this sound familiar to you at all?
Ringing some kind of
some
bell.
bells, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, TemTem. Bobby's talked about it a lot last year, earlier this year,
January of last year.
Time has lost all meaning.
Yeah,
since 2020.
We had a whole category about what the cutest TemTem / Ooblet was.
Yeah.
This was the game that kind of spawned. It's weird to say, but I was running at the time. I had a MacBook Pro. I partitioned the hard drive, installed Windows to play that game.
Ad hoc setup there to try this game.
And I was like, that's what I needed. That's the push I need to build a PC. Mm-hmm. So I blame TemTem for that.
Well, and me a little bit too, I hope.
I wouldn't blame you for anything.
We always blame you, but not for...
So yeah, Bobby's been in my ear about this game since it came out. And
it's in early access still.
It is, yes. They just had a major update in May, I think, that added a new region.
Yep.
It's early days for me. I think I've played 2-3 hours or so. I do have 6 TemTem that I've captured. I picked Crystal as my starter.
Same.
Mainly on accident, because I wanted to read all the descriptions for them first before I decided, and I accidentally hit the accept button.
What was crazy when I first started that game, because there's 3 starters, and you can eventually capture this. It's not like Pokemon.
Okay.
So the other ones you can get in the game, but I remember the one that would be, I think, it's like a fire type, that it was in an area that hadn't been unlocked yet. for early access, so I wasn't able to get that one.
Wasn't able to get it.
But I did. I did start with Crystal as well, and I told you this off pod, but they do later on. There's like I don't want to call it like legendary, or it's more of a rare Tem, but it's Crystal that has it's a dual type version of that, which is really really cool. And I ended up swapping my starter out for that, which kind of is a bummer, but you know,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think this game has some interesting ideas. Obviously, it's wearing its influence on its sleeve. Like when you're walking on the docks and stuff, and the fish, like it's pure Pokemon Red
it doesn't
and Blue
hide it.
vibes for me. In the tall grass, obviously, and then there are other players walking around as well that you can inspect, and you can do trades and stuff. I haven't done any of that yet. I mainly just been doing the storyline, and it's always weird to me when I know particular style of game functions in a very specific way, and then when something is directly influenced by it, like having a character that talks in a Pokemon-like game is weird.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be locked to the 2-on-2 battles?
I don't mind it because of the way that you can, and they talked about this. Like they have little things that pop up that explain like the meta of the game. And I'm pretty Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong here, but like you can have two different types that kind of work in tandem with each other. Like you use one attack and then it stacks something else on top of it.
Yep. That was stuff that they
more.
like really bolstered up a bit later in some of the updates.
Yeah.
But there are some really cool things that start to happen with with that.
Yeah, the way that it's presented to you and the way that it happens in motion makes sense. Like it doesn't just feel like we're gonna have you fight in doubles all the time just because. Like they've given like mechanical reasons why you'd want it to be that way.
I think they also had to do this, not to cut you off, but I think they also had to do this because it is an MMO that has co-op. And so I think there wasn't an elegant way if it would have been just 1v1 to be like, okay, we have a partner now. So is it now going to be partners? And then they have this whole other thing. Well, do we integrate this? So I think keeping it where it can be 2v2 solo and with somebody else makes that solves that problem for them.
And being able to higher level, I'm going to say Pokemon, a higher level TemTem with a lower level one, because I haven't gotten an XP share or anything yet. I don't know if there's even anything like that in the game. Like being able to still attack on your first turn and then swapping out the other one, so you don't feel like you're just wasting a turn swapping your monsters out. I like that.
And double battles are a really popular way of playing Pokemon, especially competitively these days. The double battle stuff has been a pretty big deal. So
it adds an added layer of strategy to it.
The one to answer your question, Johnny, it's not as elegant. And this has been like one of my bigger complaints about it. Some people might like this a whole lot, but the EXP share, it's not everybody. So there's an item in the game called a Coward's Cloak, and you put the Coward's Cloak on somebody in your party, and they will receive
until
the old experience,
Gen 8 and 9, or 7 and 8. Anyway, the two most recent versions, right? Like XP share was just a single item that one Pokemon held.
Yeah,
it wasn't distributed amongst the rest of your team.
Yeah,
how it is in like Sword and Shield, it's automatic. You don't have to give it, or you're giving it very early in the game.
I actually think that started in X and Y.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I couldn't quite. I knew it was more recent.
So anyway, there's an item you get not too far after the first island there, and
yeah, like it. I love how the monsters look. Like it looks very nice and crisp and sharp. I think the animations and the combat are well done. Certainly,
it's got good sound design too.
Yeah, and the music. I was playing it just with the soundbar on my desk yesterday, and Misty, my wife, commented. She's like, "Oh, where's that pleasant music coming from?" And it was from TemTem. So it's got a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to playing some of that co-op with you on Friday.
Absolutely.
Is more of that game actually coming to the Switch at some point?
It's on PS5.
It's on PS5.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's got, so it's in the early access is there on PlayStation. They put a big thing out when the PS5 came that the price was going to go up to the $60 range, but if you bought it where it's at now, they're doing the simultaneous updates on both PC and PlayStation. So where the game currently exists is there, and it offers crossplay with PC. So that is a thing.
Yep.
That I don't know when it's coming to Switch, and it's interesting to me that this is a game on PC and only PlayStation 5, which makes me wonder if there's some technicality keeping it from being ported directly to the Switch. I don't know. Like,
Maybe. And it might also just be that that Nintendo doesn't do a lot of early access kind of stuff.
That's
Doom
true.
2 is the only thing I can think of that was
allowed to be on there. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think I will play this game until it gets to 1.0.
That's
just
totally
because I don't want to be going and constantly checking back in on stuff. I just want to play the game when it comes out.
That's totally fair.
And if that's on Switch, great. If that's not, then we'll figure it out. But
Steam Deck, baby.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and just very quickly, Hardspace Shipbreaker is a game that I picked up a while back on Bobby's recommendation. I played through the tutorial, and then something else came along that grabbed my attention. But I revisited this week, and Bobby, I just want to say, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. That game, there's a zen to it, and there's a flow that you get into as you're dismantling these ships, and it's a great podcast game, I think is how I would describe
that game scratches my brain better than a lot of others in that vein. And
because it's like the ship is a puzzle. I'm gonna find the best way to dismantle it, and like you do have to balance your oxygen and stuff and be careful of like hazards inside of the ships, but for the most part it's chill, baby. You just float in space.
I've gotten to
in orbit.
A point with that game where I like to think about like somebody who's really exceptional at their craft. And, you know, I think a lot about like how people are like, why do I have to pay you so much if you're this good, or any of those types of things. But
yeah,
if I like, I've gotten to a point now where certain models of ship, like I know how to like efficiently take that thing apart to where I can almost get it with absolutely no loss. Like I can nail it, and I feel like a professional. Like I feel so good doing it. Like it's almost like where you've seen videos of people who weld, and like the bead that they're welding with, like it's like
people that dismantle barges. Like that's what this reminds me of. I assume that played some direct influence on their idea for this game.
It's so fucking good, man. Like that has been one of my absolute favorite things to play on my PC, and I can't wait to see where it goes in 1.0. That last update with some actual dialogue and character development has been really cool, and they're doing some really impressive stuff with that game. I'm thrilled that you're into it. I knew you would like it. I think it's a game that I would love to stream a bit more, and do something with, because it is such a cool game. It's more people need to know about that game.
Is it as cool as Power Wash Simulator though?
They both scratch things, and in a way, you're still like breaking things down as efficiently and as effective as possible. And so you're like,
there's a complexity to hard space that Power Wash just doesn't have, but there's a satisfaction that I feel like you get out of Power Wash that hard space doesn't quite touch.
There was a weird thing that happened when I fell into hard space. I was really in and still love Satisfactory. And so there's this whole thing about you're building this entire like factory that's putting shit into space. and then like the ramifications of like what's happened from that on hard space. They're not related. They're not related.
It was an interesting time because you were playing those games around the same.
Yeah, it was wild.
And it's like, here's 1 week Bobby's building stuff up, and the next week he's tearing it down.
Yep. But no, I'm so happy you're checking it out. Maybe you can like do like a little Discord stream to me one night, and I can watch you break some stuff and hang out with you while you do that. Did we lose Johnny?
He's like that.
What Johnny.
Great. It's pretty good that we didn't even realize he was gone.
Yeah, I was just like, he's really into what I'm saying. God, he played this game I told him to check out, and now he's just really liking it.
Beautiful.
Give me a second. I'm gonna throw us. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back with the casual report and talk about this Nintendo Indie World. We're gonna find out where Johnny went. Things might be better. Hang tight. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. We haven't. We didn't do any audio on any of that here.
Wait, no, I had the going at certain points, and I heard us talking.
Okay. Well, was it one of the many times that we had to drop out for technical difficulties?
Man, Preston, helping us out in the chat. No, wow, we had no audio for this.
Well, cool. Hey, great episode. Nintendo Indie World was today, and they showed off a bunch of games, and we're going to run down that list right now. First game is called Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, and it's coming out in 2022, and it looked a lot like Jet Set Radio. No, we're not going to do this whole thing again. I can't. We need to go to bed.
Look, that was on me. I muted everybody's mic, so we took a break. That's on me. God damn it.
Please direct all your complaints to one Bobby Peas. That is
my Discord's been freezing twice now.
It was on me. I'm sorry, y'all.
So we only missed the news section, right? We still got all the rest of the stuff, right?
Yeah, everything for the news is not there, but everything before it is there.
Well, hey, it works. It's fine.
A chunk of an episode.
Just assume it was all good stuff.
I'm so sorry.
You know what? I'll just sum it up pretty quickly here. You should go watch the Nintendo Indie World.
Yeah,
it was great. It's only 20 minutes long. It showed off a ton of incredible games. Like I said, not like anybody heard it, but like I said, there were only about 4 games that I didn't consider buying that were in this show. It is just filled top to bottom with great stuff.
Yeah, I feel like such a dummy.
Why don't we go around just to give everyone a bit of a chance to talk here? What was your favorite thing that you're most excited about from this Nintendo Indie World? Everybody pick one.
I'm really excited for Eastward, but I'm loving everything about Axiom Verge 2.
Cool. Johnny?
Metal Slug Tactics.
Yeah, I was probably going to say that, but since you said it, I'll try to go with something different. I'll go with... how about... I'll say Loop Hero. Loop Hero and TemTem.
Yeah.
I mean, those are 2 games that we've gotten to play a little bit of, but I'm looking forward to playing both of those on my Switch. It's cool that they're going to be there.
Totally.
Anyway, Bobby, I don't know. Are you just gonna cut all this out of the finished recording? Who knows?
Yeah.
But hit him with how to find us.
Yeah. As you can see beneath us, I'm so fucking pissed right now. I'm sorry. All right. We stream 3 days a week. Some nights you can't hear any of it. Monday nights.
For the better.
Yeah, for the better. Monday nights are our casual Mondays that Chase and I do. We just put up part 5 of our XCOM Mondays. And God, XCOM continues to be a cruel, cruel, cruel video game. Wednesday nights is when we get together and tell you about the games we've been playing here in the casual hour live. And we post that recording, which is going to be interesting this week, to anywhere podcasts can be found and listened to Fridays at 9 a.m. Central Time. But Friday nights is just usually like a let's play with the casual hour, and Chase is going to take Friday off, and Johnny and I are going to hang out, and he's going to show you what he loves about TemTem. And so we're going to be catching some Tems. If you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's a 2v2 MMO Pokemon-esque game that we like quite a bit over here at the show. So we'll be streaming that Friday night together.
I might try to jump in the chat for some of that, just to watch you
get a
guys
feel
play.
for it.
That's fun.
We did post a quick look up on Tuesday for Pokemon Unite, that new MOBA with Pokemon. So if you want to check out more about that, go to youtube.com/casual hour. And tomorrow, speaking of little toy box games, we're going to be checking out The Ramp, which a friend of the show, Pierce Crochane, joined Chase and I, and we did a couple quick looks together, and The Ramp is one that will be going up tomorrow on our YouTube at 9 a.m. If you're digging what we're doing, you can like and follow all across the board on any of those things. It does help us out quite a bit. We've got some fun stuff brewing on our live stream, so if you're listening to this, tune in, check out what all the fun's about. Our Wednesday nights are a little bit more tame when it comes to like chat rewards and things, because we do try to run a little bit more production on the actual podcast. But Mondays and Fridays,
really running production on Wednesdays.
Yeah, it's man, I am just
so professional.
hating myself right now.
Hey, Bobby, it's okay.
Yeah,
we hate you.
Yeah, it's good to be in company. But yeah, Mondays and Fridays, tune in for some real crazy shenanigans here on the Casual Hour. Appreciate everybody that popped in and didn't say anything while we weren't talking, and then Preston, our dear friend, saved the day. So that's our show for what we do. If you want to follow along with some of those things, you can do so by checking out those links. Enough about us and more about Chasey K.
Oh. Yeah, I do a couple other things outside of the Casual Hour. One of those things is called Gamers on the Go, a podcast about handheld video games, which I've had many guests on, including the other two hosts of this show. And that comes out randomly. The last episode that came out was on Pokemon X and Y that I did with Bobby. And that was a lot of fun. Looking forward to doing more of those pretty soon. And then I also do, I'm playing some stuff on YouTube right now, just recording stuff and putting those up. And I'm playing Super Robot Wars X right now, which has been really fun. I'm getting to a point where I'm thinking about the next game that I'm going to play after that, and realizing there's just so much more Super Robot Wars X to go. So I've been putting those episodes out every Monday or every Wednesday and Saturday. And I think starting in September, I'm going to start putting those out 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, like we do for the Casual Hour.
That's awesome.
Just because I need to get through this game so I can play something else.
No, yeah, and look, you've been doing some really cool things with that, and I know that we talked a little bit about like timing and what that would look like, and how could we speed things up for you. And I think that you were talking about doing this, and I know it's a lot of work, but I think you'll do great. I think you'll do great.
Yeah, it's cool, and I'm really excited about the next thing that I might be playing on that channel, and look forward to that, which should be happening, I don't know, maybe around November.
Yeah. Well, you got links there in chat. You can follow along and see what Chase is up to. Please do so. Also on our YouTube page, he's a featured channel there. So if you have that, you can find that there. Moderators. That would be nice.
What's moderator?
Johnny, what have you been up to? You play anything with your son?
We went away to the Indiana Dunes over the weekend.
Okay.
And I can tell you that I owe my father an apology, because traveling with a young child in tow these last few weeks, I understand why fathers all across this great nation are so irritable whenever they take their families on vacation. So respect to all the dads out there. We haven't been playing too much lately, because he spends all of his screen time earlier in the day before we get to hang out when I'm done working. So we'll play like a board game or something sometimes. But
What board game you playing?
we played Trouble.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Classic.
the game. Oh, he got so pissed because I won both times, like just barely.
Yeah.
And Jude's kind of a sore loser. So
That's awesome. He is kind of a little a-hole when it comes to gaming, but we love him dearly.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right on. Well, I'm gonna go think about my sins against humanity, and apologies for the audio issues tonight. But yeah, that's a bummer because that Nintendo Indie World thing was a lot of fun. Damn it. Well,
At least we'll have the shared memory.
we'll have the time together, which is what's important. Hey, if you've been here checking us out, please come back and hang out with us soon. We'll be back Friday night with some TemTem. Johnny and I are going to be hanging out. Chase will be in chat, making sure that he's clicking all the right buttons and that our audio is working, which we appreciate.
Yeah, I'll make sure that the audio works.
But if you want to hang out with us in between that, at the Casual Hour on social, we'll chat with you all soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and sorry for any issues that this caused. Take care, everybody.